Hey, Facebook, how's it going? How was your Monday? Did you have a good day? So today's been an interesting one for me. It's obviously the first official Monday back of the year. I feel like last week was a bit of a kind of interlude to actually the year getting started, because today we've kind of really hit the ground running. There's loads of really fun stuff happening. And I just wanted to do this video. If I set the scene a little bit, I have on the first Monday of every month, I have a meeting with my financial director. And my financial director sits and we look at the sales figures for the business over the preceding month. We look at whether we hit target. We look at whether we missed target. We look at whether we sold enough, and we look at whether we spent too much or whether we spent too little. Okay. And one of the things, and I like to try and be as balanced as I can in terms of what I share with you guys. I think it's really important that you guys get the ups and the downs and the reality of what it's like building a property business. So today was obviously the first meeting of 2019 with my financial director, and we were looking at what happened in the last calendar year, but mainly we were looking at what happened in December, because that's what our meetings are about. My financial year runs from the 1st of August to the 31st of July. So we're actually basically halfway through our year. Now, in December, we missed target by quite a substantial amount, like tens of thousands. It's the first time we've ever had a month where we've missed target by that much. And whilst the business actually as a whole is doing really, really well, it's not something I'm necessarily worried about. What we had to do, I had to be really honest. And ultimately, the reason I have an FD in the business is because I, as the effectively the business development director, the managing director, I have to report to him. He is my escalation point. He's the person that holds me accountable for making sure that the business is growing in the right way. And in my meeting today, I had to really explain to him why I think the business has missed target in December 2018, whether we over budgeted, whether we overspent, what was the reasons that led to the situation we had. So we missed target. And when I really sat and thought about it, and we dug into loads of different details, we looked at all the different things that we've been doing. We looked at our marketing budgets. We looked at, our staffing. We looked at things like holiday. We looked at all different aspects of it. What's contributed to us missing our target in December? What was the reason for that? And ultimately, what we've established is that my pipeline wasn't strong enough in October, which has led to December falling short. Now, just to go over that again, my pipeline wasn't strong enough in October, which meant that my delivery and my actual results in December dropped out by quite a lot. Now, I know that my pipeline wasn't strong enough in October, because when I was in October, I remember talking vocally about the fact that our pipeline wasn't strong enough, and I didn't feel like I had enough options on the table in terms of deals that could drop and sales that could complete and things like that. And it made me nervous back in October, but I wasn't quite sure how it would materialize later on in the business. Ultimately, what's happened is it's led to effectively 8 weeks later, we've had a month where we've dropped to target. Now, the reason for it was because in September, if I remember back, and again, I'm not making excuses for it, but we look at the facts, back in September, the time I spent on my actual outgoing kind of marketing, lead generation, the number of calls I made in September, if I look at the activity that I did then, it was way, way lower than what I would normally do to drive leads for the property business. So what that meant is, because I made less calls in September, my pipeline in October was low, so we had less offers accepted because we put less offers out. We had less stuff fall through to close because we had less offers accepted, which meant by the time we got through to things like lending and solicitors and all the other bits and pieces, December, the billing dropped. Yeah. Now, I wanted to share this with you because I think it's really important that you understand this. It's a basic business concept. It's pipelining. It's sales pipelining. It doesn't matter what you're selling, okay? Obviously, we in this group, we're talking about property, okay? It doesn't matter what you're selling. If you don't build a strong sales pipeline, then you are dead in the water, because it's your pipeline here that directly impacts your actual billing here. Does that make sense to everybody? I really, really want you guys to understand this, because we talk a lot about doing 5 grand a month, 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month, 50 grand a month, whatever it is your target is, okay? Those targets are amazing. But what you have to understand is that that money's not just going to magic itself into your bank account. Yeah, you're running a business to get to that point. Now, if you don't build your pipeline and have enough plates juggling or balls juggling or plates spinning or whatever the analogy is that I'm trying to think of, if you don't have enough options so that some sticks and some doesn't stick, if your pipeline isn't strong enough, then you are dead in the water. Now, I mean, I know this as a salesperson. I've been in sales forever. I know this to be true. So back in September and October, I could see it. I could see it come in, and I knew actually there would be a month not long away where we would have a bit of a shit month. You know, we haven't had a bad month. I'm not gonna lie. We've still made good money, but you know, it's still more than my salary was back when I was working for back in recruitment and things like that by quite a substantial amount. But, you know, now as a business, we've got staff to pay, we've got a lot of outgoings, we've got an office to run, we've got rents, we've got bills, all these different things. It's really important that I make sure that I'm billing enough money every month to sustain all of that stuff. So my obviously running costs as my business are probably a bit higher than maybe yours are, and that's fine. But whatever your break-even points are in the month, so let's say your break-even points were maybe 5 grand a month, you need to be billing that 5 grand a month every single month, plus whatever you want your profits to be, right? But if you don't have a solid pipeline of how you're going to get to that 5 grand a month, then actually what will happen eventually is you'll have a month where you bill nothing, or you'll have a month where you fall below your break-evens, or you have a month where you lose money, and you don't want to be doing those things. So I wanted to just share a few tips on how to keep your pipeline strong, yeah, and to avoid the feast and famine that many of us as entrepreneurs experience. Now, I'd really love to know, and just stick this in the comments, if you've experienced that feast and famine where maybe you have a couple of fees come in and then you have nothing the next month, then you have a couple of fees and then nothing the next month, or maybe you close a deal and then you have nothing for 3 months. So you close a deal and nothing for 3 months. That's what we call feast and famine. Now, for you to build a sustainable business, for you to know wholeheartedly that you're going to get paid every month and you can pay your bills and you can send your kids to school and all the things that we have to pay for, you really want to try and avoid that feast and famine as an entrepreneur, because it is a really uncomfortable place to be. I've been there. It's not fun because you never quite know where the next bit of money's coming from. But two, it creates a lot of stress. And what's a much better way of doing it is to have a consistent revenue, or albeit you might have slightly less and slightly more, but it's consistent, right? And the way to make sure you're doing that is to build your pipeline. So a couple of tips that I would give you in terms of your pipelining and to make sure you're avoiding this feast and famine is to, first of all, consistently focus on business development every single month for even just a little bit of the week, a little bit of the day each day, or a little bit of the week each week, every single month consistently. Even when you're busy doing your renovations, setting up a new rent to rent, whatever, going on holiday, whatever it is that you're doing in a month that makes you busy, the stuff that stops you from doing new business development, new sales, yeah, new acquisition, because we all do it. I do it as well. You know, you spend a load of time in, let's say, January getting new deals on. So then in February, all you do is spend your time furnishing them and filling them. And then actually you then go to March and you then need to work on business development again, so that in April you've got some rooms to take on. We want to try and avoid that as best we can, okay? So to do that, what you must do every single week without fail is ring fence business development time, yeah? And that means that even if you've got rooms to fill, even if you've got you know, beds to build or walls to paint or whatever it is you're doing, ring fence time every week that is just focused on sales and business development. Because if you forget that step, and let's be honest, a lot of us in this group, in this community, in this industry, it's the bit we procrastinate about anyway, because it's the bit we find the hardest quite a lot of the time. It's easy to go, oh, I'll make calls next week instead. But when you do that, yeah, you've got your house up and running. Yeah, you've maybe filled your rooms, but you then hit a famine month, and that's a really uncomfortable place to be. And so by making sure you ring fence time every single month without fail for business development and sales, getting offers out is really what I'm talking about here, yeah? Because we make our money when you put your offers out, your for all of you, your hard KPI should be how many offers are you getting out every single week, every single month, every single year? Because unless you put offers out, no one's going to accept your offer, right? So offers is the hard KPI you should all be focusing on. So every week, every month, you need to ring fence time for business development and focus on getting out a minimum number of offers every single week, even if it's 1 or 2. Yeah. Now, generally as a team, the guys that I've had in my team over the last few years, for myself, for the guys that I've got now, we try and focus on a minimum of 5 offers out a week. Depending on the types of deals we're sourcing, like bigger development type stuff, we tend to take a bit longer. But for your like bread and butter, rent to rents, SA, HMO, buy to lets, these kind of flip type deals, a minimum of 5 offers a week. Ultimately, what that means is over time, you're going to, obviously most of your offers will get kicked back. They'll just remain on the table. But what that's doing is it's building 2 things. It's building a layer of bread and butter offers and acceptances that will be the ones that come month in, month out, month in, month out. But underneath that, you're also building in your what we call bonus stuff. So bonus money, which is where you put an offer in and then 6 months later, they accept it. You know, the ones that you've kind of written off, but actually they come 6, 8, 12 months down the line, okay? You have to put the offers out. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about building a pipeline. As a property entrepreneur, if you do not build your pipeline by putting out enough offers and ring fencing business development time every single week, even if it's an hour, I don't care, make sure you do it. Because if you don't do it, then you're going to be dead in the water. Now, I'm in a position where actually, even though we've missed target, I'm working in a year that is very much a stretch year. So we've got big targets this year. Whilst it's frustrating because it means that we've not made any money in December, actually as a business, we're still stable and that's fine. So I'm not worried about it. But it was really evident to me in my meeting with my financial director today when he said to me, you know, what has made your business miss target by that much money? And I had to explain to him, because he's the guy that I report to. He's the guy that helps me to control the money. You know, my job is to drive the money into the business. His job is to make sure that it's come in and that everyone else is paid and looked after and that the future is paid for. And I had to report to him today and I had to explain, it's because my pipeline dropped. It's because I didn't do as much work in September as I should have done. I didn't ring fence my time and protect my business development time. I focused on other things in September. You know, in September, they were really, would have been really hard for me to do it any differently. But I wish now I'd have made the time and the effort to ring fence that business development time, because had I done that, my December would have been a far different story. And I think it's important that you understand this. If you are not naturally a salesperson and you've not ever been in a sales environment, you might not be used to the concept of pipelining. And I need you guys to understand that for you to have the most successful business you can have, and for you to avoid the feast and famine aspect of this industry, which creates nothing but stress, pressure, and just grumpiness all round, you must ring fence time every single week, every single month. If you can do it every day, then do it. But it's probably a tall expectation on many people. But making sure every week at least you've got time ring fenced to what we call sales and business development, where you are picking up the phone, where you are having conversations, where you're going on viewings, and ultimately where you're putting out your offers. Because without that, you're going to be dead in the water. So thank you so much for letting me have my little share this afternoon. I can see there's quite a few of you on today. I hope you've had an amazing day. I hope your Monday's been full of fun. If you've got any questions on any of this, if you've got any questions about how we plan our pipeline, you know, what sort of activity targets we set, then please feel free to put in the comments and I'll try and answer for you. You know, I get quite a lot of questions around if I'm a part-time or if I'm a full-timer, how should I structure my time and these sorts of things. That's actually one of the conversations, or one of the topics of conversation that we teach on our 3-day boot camp. The next one's at the end of January, by the way, shameless plug, 24th, 25th and 26th of January. I think we've got a couple of places left on that. So if anyone did want to come, you're very welcome. Just let me know. But actually, more to the point, if anybody's got questions about how to plan for a pipeline, how to make sure that you are not working now for nothing in 3 months' time, then just drop me a message and I'll happily answer that for you. In fact, Diane has actually asked me on the comments, how do you plan and set your target? So Diane, for us, our hard target, our hard KPI that we really focus on is offers out, because without the offers, ultimately, no one will ever accept your offer. So if no one ever accepts your offer, you'll never make any money. Yeah. But to lead to offers out, you have to appraise. That's the stage before. You have to figure out what you can afford to pay. And the stage before that is you have to do discovery on the property to find out all about it. You know, what's the condition? What do they need? What's the solution they're looking for? And the step before that is you need to pick up the phone. So we target each of those points. But our hard target really is 5 offers out every week. Now, that could be 1 a day. It could be 5 out in 1 day. You know, it could be that we do a couple on 1 day and a couple on 1 day and then leave the other days for viewings and things like that. It depends on who it is really and how structured they are and how disciplined they are. But if you can do 5 offers a week, then actually what will happen is you'll build that solid pipeline. And it's a pipeline then that, you know, most of those offers are going to be rejected. In this business, we're going for no. If you've not read the book Go for No already, I recommend that you read it, because 1, it's brilliant, and 2, it will completely switch up the way you think about being rejected. Yeah. If you're not, you know, I've been in sales my whole life. And so I'm quite happy being told no. It's not something that makes me uncomfortable. I don't take it personally. It's just business. If you're not naturally from that environment, then sometimes it can be a bit soul destroying to keep being told no. And all that does is create a, what's the word? A reservation to be putting out offers that might get rejected. People prefer to just not put offers out at all. And that's not the right thing to do in this industry. So Diane, for us, it's about making sure that you plan your time well enough that you can get your offers out every week. Now, if you're part-time, so 5 offers out a week are like for my full-time sources, people like for myself and, you know, people that are doing this full-time. If you're part-time, you're doing this around a job and things like that, and you've got less time, then, you know, just work it backwards. If you can get 2 offers out a week, you know, that's 104 offers out every single year. You know, my good friend Sonny, I don't know if many of you know Sonny, I'll tag him in the post. I think to get his first development deal, I think he appraised 150 deals. Yeah. So what you have to understand is that offering, it's that appraisal and offer. Oh, and he offers on pretty much everything, same as me. It's that offering aspect that brings the money. So if you're part-time, Diane, then I would say plan it to maybe be putting out 2 offers a week if you can. That would be brilliant. But do it consistently. Don't put out 2 and then none, and then 2 and then none, and then 2 and then. It would be better if you put out 1, then 1, then 1, then 1, then 1, and it's all then your pipeline's built consistently. It's the feast and famine that we want to try and avoid, because that's ultimately what brings a lot of the stress and a lot of the pressure as an entrepreneur when you've not got consistent money coming in. Now, with lumpy money, with packaging and things like that, there'll always be the delays. You know, we've had a situation today. One of the lenders has pulled out on one of our purchases. Well, they've cancelled the valuation, so we're not sure if they've pulled out or not, or whether we're waiting to hear. So that potential fee, actually that fee should have come in December. It's been delayed because of Christmas and things like that. We're now in January. If the lender's bolted, then we need to find a new lender. Actually, we might not get that money till February. So it's about making sure that you've got enough coming in consistently, and that's your pipeline. You've got different apples dropping at all different times, juggling all those balls to make sure that you've got money coming in on a consistent basis. So I hope that's explained it. I hope that's made sense to everybody. Like I say, if there is any questions, let me know. And I shall leave you to it. I'm going to go and have some dinner and have a bath and get to some sleep. Thank you so much for listening. It's been great sharing with you my just thoughts on this, and have an amazing evening. I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. See you later. Bye.